It was a quiet night, and my husband and I were in bed ready to sleep when his phone suddenly rang. The sound startled me because it was late, well past midnight. Who could be calling at such an odd hour? I watched as he reached for his phone and answered it without hesitation. On the other end of the line was one of his female friends. She sounded distressed, telling him she was feeling very sick and needed someone to take her to the hospital. This wasn't the first time she had called my husband for help. Over the months, I had noticed a pattern. Whenever this lady had an issue, she would call my husband, and he would immediately jump to her aid. It didn't seem to matter what time it was, or how inconvenient it might be for him, or for us. This time, I decided to speak up. "Why don't you call Akua instead?" I suggested. "She lives closer to her and can get there faster. It makes more sense for her to help." My husband looked at me, nodded as though he was considering my words, but ultimately he shook his head. "No, I'll go," he said firmly. And with that, he got out of bed, quickly dressed, and left. I sat there, frustrated and helpless. That's the kind of man I married. Someone who always puts others, especially women, before his own wife. He doesn't seem to understand the importance of boundaries. He calls it friendship, but to me it feels like he's prioritizing everyone else over me. Not long ago, I discovered something that shook me. One of the women he was so eager to help turned out to be his ex-girlfriend. When I confronted him, he confessed. He told me they had been together before he met me, but after we got married, he didn't cut ties with her. When I'd asked why, he said he was afraid of hurting her or being cursed if he ended things. It took me finding out for him to finally block her. That incident left me questioning everything. Did I even know the man I married? Our relationship had been long distance for about a year before we tied the knot. And even now, we're still in a long distance marriage. When we're apart, I feel like I'm learning new things about him. But instead of getting closer, these discoveries are driving us further apart. Our marriage isn't even a year old, and I already feel tired. When we're together, there's no real connection. We don't have those deep, meaningful conversations that couples should have. I've tried so many times to talk to him about our lives, our future, or even our dreams, but he always brushes me off. "It's not the right time for that," he'd say. Even when we're on the phone, our conversations feel hollow. He sticks to the same basic questions. "Have you eaten? How was your day?" If I don't bring up a topic, the silence between us stretches uncomfortably. Sometimes he'll even start humming a song just to fill the quiet. Emotionally, I feel drained. It's like I'm married to a stranger, someone who doesn't understand me or even care to. He rarely gives me compliments or says anything kind. There was one day that really hurt me. I was feeling confident and happy about how I looked. So I smiled at him and asked, "Don't I look nice today?" Instead of a sweet response, he pointed at my face and said, "You have pimples." That one comment crushed me. It wasn't just the words, it was the lack of effort to make me feel loved or appreciated. These small moments have added up over time. I feel like I've become invisible to him. I wanted a partner who would support me emotionally and make me feel cherished, but instead, I feel neglected and lonely. When I think back to why I chose him, it wasn't about my own happiness. I thought about my future children. I believed he would make a great father, someone kind and responsible. But in focusing on that, I overlooked what I needed in a partner. Now I feel stuck. How long can I keep living like this? He spends more time on his phone than he does talking to me. When we're together, he seems distant, and when we're apart, it feels like we're even further away. I've tried to communicate my feelings to him. I've told him how much his actions hurt me. He apologizes and promises to do better, and sometimes he tries, but it never lasts. It's like we take one step forward and 2 steps back. I'm starting to lose hope. I'm beginning to think he doesn't truly love me or want to be with me. Maybe he married me out of obligation or because he thought it was the right thing to do. But I want more than that. I want a partner who values me, listens to me, and makes me feel like I matter. Every day, I feel like I'm losing a little more of myself. I used to be confident, happy, and full of dreams. Now I feel small, insecure, and tired. I don't know how much longer I can keep trying when it feels like I'm the only one putting in any effort. I just wish things were different.